I happen to think Philip is extra amazing. We're related. He's my brother. We have two other brothers as well. Hey, they haven't been on the show yet. So here's the everything. Today we welcome Philip Maymin. Philip is the professor of analytics and the director of the Masters in Business Analytics at Fairfield University's Dolan School of Business. He's also been a consultant to NBA teams. He is a lawyer who's passed the bar in California. He has been an award-winning journalist, an award-winning data scientist. He received his PhD at the University of Chicago and his bachelor's and master's at Harvard. I invite you to enjoy this piece. It's generally on mindfulness, but it's on so much more. Enjoy, and here we go.
All right, so this is, it isn't what it is. These next few minutes are going to be based on an article that Ellen Langer and I are working on right now called Better Than Better. Ellen Langer, she's known as the mother of mindfulness, the mother of positive psychology. And one of her ideas is the framework of 3 levels, where the first and third look the same, but have completely different reasons. Her favorite example is, there's people who don't read the New Yorker, right? Then there's people who do read the New Yorker. They're supposedly, they're better, they're the classier, more intelligent group of people, right? But then there's a third level, people who don't read the New Yorker anymore. So if you see someone who at the moment happens not to be reading the New Yorker, rare as that can be, which level are they? Is it because they never heard of it or because they've outgrown it? There's no way to tell. By the way, we're thinking of submitting this article to the New Yorker. All right, well, let's leave New York for a minute. We are quite likely the only intelligent species in the entire universe. If you look at Earth, you see man-made highways, buildings, artificial satellites in geostationary orbit, right? But if you look in space, you don't see any of those things. Now, in a few million years, we as humans will be everywhere, and we'll be moving planets and solar stuffs around. We'll have interstellar highways and all sorts of things. But right now, there's nothing. Billions and billions of galaxies and clusters and superclusters and more, but they're all natural. There's no apparent intelligent design behind any of them. And no one from space communicates with us, at least not with me. I don't know, your experience may be different. But we are incredibly alone and incredibly special. As quantum physicist and philosopher David Deutsch says, we are the most significant phenomenon in all of nature. That's a big responsibility. But we are amazing, right? We're the only people who are universal explainers, all the rest of it. But that begs the question, if we're so great, why do we suffer? Now, to be sure, of course, we experience some moments of joy and delight. We're also all too often mired in depression, jealousy, sadness, negativity, self-doubt. We're significant, but we don't feel significant. Why? The answer may lie with mindlessness. When we are mindless, we're unaware of changes in context. We look for similarities to the past rather than differences. We assume that things will stay the same rather than change. In other words, we may be gods who behave like robots. Welcome to the human condition. It doesn't have to be this way. There's nothing in our makeup that requires us to be mindless. In fact, there doesn't even seem to be any useful benefit to mindlessness at all. It could simply be a relic of a bygone age. And the good news is we can be mindful, and it's easy. You don't need to meditate or hum mantras or even change your breathing or posture. Ellen Langer has been researching mindfulness without meditation for 40 years. Mindfulness? What's mindfulness? She says mindfulness is simply the active process of noticing new things. Now, I'm not as good as Senya in terms of interactivity. This is the only interactive portion of my entire talk, but it'll change your life forever. Look around you right now, wherever you are. Notice 3 new things that you've never noticed before. That's it. Just go look around. What's new? Notice 3 new things. Once you notice new things, you start to realize how much you don't know and how much things change. We become more creative, not to mention healthier, happier, stronger, and smarter. Mindfulness is a way of looking for improvement. Now, improvement by itself can also be mindless. Improvements can be mindless if we stop looking for ways to be even better. Okay, of course, better is better than worse, but you can be better than better. And particularly surprisingly, the level 3 of better than better can look just like the level 1, just like the New Yorker situation, right? Here's an example. You see a child acting uninhibited, okay? And you assume they haven't yet learned how to behave in this world, right? That's true. And then there's, of course, the adults. You and me, we're all serious and inhibited individuals. We're inhibited because we've learned the social norms. Then you see a senior behaving just like an adolescent, but are they? The older person knows the rules that they're breaking. They knows that those rules should be context dependent. They're not childishly uninhibited. They're maturely disinhibited, which may reveal a more general truth. If level 2s see level 3s as level 1s, and they're not availing themselves of a ready opportunity for growth. So here's a couple examples. You see someone not trying, not putting forth any apparent effort. Shouldn't they at least try? Sure, it's better to try than to just give up or go through the motions, but even better would be to just do, like Yoda says. You wouldn't tell a child to, hey, try to eat your ice cream, please try. Now, recent research in our lab has shown, the Langer lab has shown that people told to do some challenging problems, attempt and solve more than those told to try to do those same problems. Why? Why is that? When you're told to try, or you tell it to yourself, failure is a real possibility. When you just do it, you focus on process rather than outcome. Forgiveness. You're not going to believe this, but forgiveness might be a trap too. You ask people, forgiveness, is it good or bad? Everyone says good, right? If you ask people about blame, everyone knows blame is bad. But one can't exist without the other. Every forgiver must also be a blamer. You can't forgive unless you first blame. Now, that may not be so good. It gets worse. What do we blame people for? Good outcomes or bad outcomes? Of course, we tend to only blame for bad outcomes. But outcomes, they don't come with like a sticky note from God saying, hey, this is a good outcome. This one's a bad outcome, right? It's up to us to classify and take views of events. So who ultimately forgives? People who first view the world negatively, then they blame, and then they forgive. Hardly divine. Okay, forgiveness is better than blame, but understanding is even better than better. When you understand someone's behavior from their perspective, there's no need to blame. There's nothing to forgive. When you take the better than better path of understanding instead of forgiveness, you start to appreciate that every potentially negative aspect of a person's behavior is also a positive. Someone who's always late to appointments may be viewed as unreliable, but they also may be viewed as spontaneous. Someone who's gullible is also trusting. Someone who's grim is also serious. In fact, every negative ascription has an equally potent but oppositely valenced alternative. This is an amazing insight. You might not truly appreciate it for weeks, if not years. Whatever you dislike about a person, if you look at it a different way, you would love it. When you understand someone, there's nothing left to blame. On the contrary, you can appreciate and be happy for your friend's spontaneity and look forward to hearing what latest adventures made them late by an hour today. In fact, whenever we're being judgmental, we're blind to a better way. Hope has a similar problem. Hope. Okay, again, it's surely better to be hopeful than hopeless, but there is a better than better way. Hope, like trying, it carries with it a seed of doubt. When you wake up and you walk to the kitchen for a cup of coffee, you don't hope to get the cup of coffee, right? You just assume you can get it. Decision-making is similar. A good decision seems to be better than a random, uninformed choice, but better than both is recognizing the inherent uncertainty of all choices and making the decision right. You'll never be able to have all the information necessary. And deciding when to stop collecting and analyzing information is a meta decision in itself. It's meta decisions all the way down. Instead of trying to make the right decision, just do it and make your decision right. To an outside observer, it may look like your level 3 behavior is the same as the level 1 behavior, but your actual outcomes can be better over time because nothing is better unless you make it better. What's more, you won't have any regret because you'll appreciate that the other alternatives could well have been worse. Speaking of alternatives, one of the silver linings of lockdowns and quarantines may have been that many people independently discovered the level 3 way of being alone. Pre-COVID, a level 1 person is alone and lonely, poor people. Level 2 person is socializing and mingling with people, but a level 3 person is alone and content. Many activities such as writing, painting, or playing single-player video games are better alone. We may think we need people to cure loneliness, but what we really need is any engaging activity. Perhaps even greater benefit for the pandemic has been an unexpected integration of work and home life for many people. Firms used to pride themselves, I bet secretly, I don't know for sure, but I bet even Duke CE pride themselves on work-life balance. And sure, work-life balance is definitely better than work-life imbalance, if those are your only options, but integration is a better than better way. You shouldn't be a different person at work than you are at home. Don't you love video conferences when a colleague's child enters the room? It's sweet. It brings a smile to everyone's face as people drop their serious work facades and reveal the true, unfragmented humans that we all are. Your level 3 integration may actually look like severe work-life imbalance, right? Because you spend some weeks working too much and other weeks apparently working too little. By now, we know that we're operating at a higher level, right? Balance is an issue because work is stressful, but once you have integrated work and life, then you're just living. It doesn't matter. The stress is gone. Another benefit that comes from an appreciation of this third level of doing things is that you become less judgmental. That itself is a third level. Level 1, you don't know enough to judge. Level 2, you judge. And level 3, you don't judge anymore. One consistent way to be more mindful is to appreciate this, that the what doesn't tell us why. Level 1s and level 3s may look exactly alike to a level 2. Level 1s don't want to climb a mountain. Level 2s want to, but don't do it. And level 3s no longer need to. So if someone is not climbing a particular mountain, they may be a level 1, but they may be a level 3. And it's not up to judging them to be one way or another is a form of inducing mindlessness on ourselves. Level 1s, for example, they don't know anything about the market, so they don't trade. Level 2s think they do, and they trade a lot. But level 3s don't trade anymore. Level 1s are unaware of uncertainty. Level 2s are quite aware of it and terrified of it. They fear uncertainty. And level 3s embrace uncertainty. This is related to Nassim Taleb's concept of anti-fragility. Level 1s make mistakes. Okay. Level 2s, we've all learned, right? We learn from our mistakes. We're good. But there is a level 3. There's a better than better way. Don't view them as mistakes at all. Almost counts, and not just in horseshoes and hand grenades. It's a real thing. You almost made a shot. If you learn from it, that's not a mistake. That's a good thing. Is better than better the best it can be? No. There can always be a level 4 and so on. The larger point is that any behavior can be understood in multiple ways. Mindlessly thinking you understand it limits you. So what can we do as gods of this universe to feel like gods of this universe? Just be mindful. It's easy. Notice new things. Appreciate uncertainty. Be confident, not that we already know something, but that there's always something new to know about it. Because finding solutions is our heavenly birthright and our responsibility. If we don't do it, nobody else in the universe will.